Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas, subscribers! It's your host, ChiefBrodyRules here, aka Frank Ireland, coming at you with a brand new video to talk about my top 10 favorite action figures I bought in 2018. Now, all these figures did not come out in 2018, but these are just figures I bought in the year 2018. I bought so many figures this year, so it was really tough to take it down to the top 10, and I think I have it ready, so let's get started. So number 10 on this list is Batwoman. This is from the DC collectible toy line. This is from a couple years ago. This is the DC Bombshells. I have the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, and this one I actually really liked and I wanted to pick it up. She has the whole Baseball Furies thing going on from the Warriors, and I thought that was really cool. She had like the black makeup over her eyes, and she has like a baseball mitt, and like her hands are interchangeable, so she can have like a regular hand or the baseball mitt. So I like the baseball mitt, and the baseball actually fits in there, so that's really cool. I really like the Bombshell toy line, so that's number 10 on this list. This one is Jaina Solo, I believe her name is. On YouTube, I follow this toy reviewer, and he goes through all his Black Series figures. And this one was such a great review. Like the amount of articulation in this figure and the way it looks and the amount of detail. One of the things I really like about the figure is the accessories. She comes with a lightsaber, a purple lightsaber, and you could take the blade out, and then you could actually hook the lightsaber to her belt if you want to display her that way. She also has a holster for her little blaster. I don't know much about the history of the character that this figure is based on. I just know that this figure is a fan favorite. It was voted, like Hasbro was like, what character do you want to see as a figure? And this one won. Jaina Solo from the EU. One of the things I really like about the details in this figure is that the face, she has that Han Solo smirk. She comes with a helmet too, and she could actually be posed, making it look like she's holding the helmet, which I really like. If you can see that right there, you could actually put the helmet right there. Fantastic looking figure, looks great. So that's number 9 on my list. Number 8. No idea who this character is. I just know that she's called Marvel's Magic. But the reason why I picked this figure up from Walgreens, she's an exclusive there, is that she looks like she walked straight off the cover of like Heavy Metal. She has like this metal arm right here, and she has this like sword that's on fire. She also has this huge like anime sword here that you would also see on the cover of like Heavy Metal, so she could be holding that. She also comes with a little dragon here that she could be holding or could put on her shoulder. That's really fantastic. And the thing that made me go like, oh my god, this figure kicks so much ass, is that she comes with an interchangeable head with a little skull face, burning skull head. That is so cool, and the jaw moves like so she can go like, awesome, so cool. But yeah, Marvel's Magic. I think it's from the, of course, the Marvel Legends toy line, but they put a lot of cool like detail into this figure, and it just looks straight off of like one of those old like fantasy comics, so I had to get it. It looks great. Number 7 on my list is NECA's Child's Play figure. Now, I used to like NECA, but then seeing all the news how like the figures break if you move them too much. And I've been avoiding them for I think like 3 years now, because the last figure I got was the Terminator one, and it just felt so fragile. I was like, oh my god, I don't want to move any joints. But this year they came up with some good figures. They came up with the Jason Part 2 and this Child's Play, and I had to pick up this Child's Play. It comes with the different heads. This one I have on here is the Charles Lee Ray head. There's the good guy head where it just looks like the doll, like, and then there's the Child's Play 3 head where it comes with like the head that's chopped off. And then it comes with the Bride of Chucky head, so that's really cool. But I like the Charles Lee Ray head. It looks great. I like the amount of detail in this figure. It comes with different hands. It comes with like the plain little toy hand right there, and it comes with hands where it can hold the knife. And I love the accessories because it's like basically one weapon from every movie. The one I have here today to show you guys is the little voodoo knife from the first movie. He comes with this It's the knife that he carries around within the first movie. Because I love the first movie. I really love Child's Play 1. Child's Play 2 is really good too. Child's Play 3 is okay, but guilty pleasure film. I can watch it any time of the week. But yeah, so cool. I like it. So number 6 on this list is the Indoraptor from Mattel. There's so much detail into this figure. The scales, the paint job, the way it looks, it's just fantastic. Look at that. That's so cool. The amount of articulation in this figure. You can move the tail, you can move the joints, the knees, straighten out the legs, move the arms, move the hands, move the head, move the neck. It's a really fantastic toy. You could probably make a stop motion video with this toy because there's so much articulation. And the thing I like about this figure is there's no gimmicks. The only gimmick it has on here is like you scan the barcode and you can show like a digital version of the toy on your phone, but that's it. There's no stupid like sound effect box you have to buy like Hasbro does with the Star Wars figures. There's no built-in sound effects thing in here. There is a different version where there's that sound effect in here, but it's not needed. They actually made a version that does not have the sound effect thing. No gimmicks. You're just getting a figure with great articulation and a great sculpt and great detail. Now that Mattel has the toy line, they're just knocking it out of the park, especially with just the sculpt. Oh, no pun intended, knocking it out of the park. And I would totally recommend this out of any of the Jurassic World toys, but yeah, this one's really cool. So we come to number 5. Number 5 on my list is Marvel Legends Wolverine. Now, I don't know if you guys know me, but I try to avoid buying Wolverines because when I was younger, I bought a ton of Wolverines.
Let's go, punk. Big time Wolverine slashes.
Tons of different Wolverines. I even have this already as a Toy Biz one. But that one is broken because these blue things, the thing I like about this toy is that they actually put it in his bicep, the little joint here. So when you move the arms, it doesn't break the blue thing. The blue thing actually moves with his arm, which is great. That's such a design detail that I love that they did with this, so you can actually adjust it to whatever you need for the display of this figure. It's so great, the amount of detail. The head sculpt is really good. It actually looks like you just jumped off the page of a comic book. It's great. I love this figure. The only thing I don't like is that the blades are removable. These blades you could actually take out, and I don't understand why. I guess I understand because they just wanted to have it as a safety feature so kids don't poke themselves in the eye. But there's a hand, like a set of hands that come with no blades. That's no problem. So the blades should be attached to these hands, but they're not. And it's probably easier to make them this way, but I don't like the removable blades because now I got to carry him in a big giant baggie just to review him for this video. But yeah, it's just, I don't like the removable blades because when I remember I opened this thing, I thought, oh, so cool. Then as I was about to display him, one of his blades was missing. I was like, what happened? Where'd it go? Luckily I found it, but the removable blades, that's the only thing I don't like about this figure. Everything else is great. It's so great, it made me break my rule that I actually had to buy it. Number 4 on my list is a little retro and a little cheesy, but he's one of my favorite characters ever, just design-wise. I love his design. Before I even watched the cartoon, I always liked his design, but Skeletor. There's a company out there called Super 7. They make like the old retro toys and they make them new again. And this one is no different. They made a new retro line of He-Man figures, and they finally had Skeletor. And of course, there's been other Skeletor reissues or remakes, but I always miss out on those, and they're always crazy expensive. They're like $40, $50, and then they skyrocket from there. I think they usually end up at like $150, $200, and it's not worth it for this little cheap version of like Skeletor just to have him represented in my collection. But thankfully, Super 7 released it and said, here's a new line of He-Man figures. It's like $20. It's for that collectible range, you know. I was like, yeah, that's okay. And I finally have the Skeletor, and I'm so happy that I have him. I've been wanting to have him for years, but I've always missed out because like he's either too crazy expensive or it's just like it's too old, you know. Like some figures I found in the wild, like in a flea market or something, and it's just worn out. And it's like I can't have that as my Skeletor. So it's finally great to finally own a Skeletor. He comes with his little staff, and he also has a sword that he comes with. This guy right here, and it's really cool. There's other toy line of the He-Man figures, but I really wanted Skeletor because I've always loved the skull face, that yellow skull with the purple outfit and the blue thing. It's just, I've always liked that, even as a kid, you know. fantastic design. Number 3 on my list of top 10 figures I bought this year was Leia.
What?
Now, of course, this mask doesn't come with her, but I have it on her, but because I wanted to have her look like the brain version of Leia. But this amount of detail in this Black Series Star Wars figure is great. The reason why I wanted to get it is because it looks like Carrie Fisher. They improved with the head sculpts this year, and it helps me not buy the Sideshow collectible that they have of this toy.
Open fire.
There's a Sideshow collectible that I really wanted to get, but I'm like, nah, I can get the Black Series, so I got her, and now it's well represented in my collection, so I have that. Number 2 on my list, I don't have the actual figure here, but I have his placeholder, which is Shawn Michaels.
Tell you what, the Rockers are going to match you punch for punch and move for move, and we're going to settle this thing once and for all.
Mattel made these awesome Retrofest figures that are GameStop exclusives of Shawn Michaels as the Rocker. Oh my god, it's so cool. Like the colors on him, and it's like the first figure where I saw, I'm like, I'm not opening him out of the box, because the box itself is art. It's part of the figure. It's like the arcade game with the little W on top where you can shine a light and it lights up the figure. It's awesome. I started collecting the toy line. It's that good. I started collecting the Randy Macho Man and Honky Tonk Man, and I have the Shawn Michaels. I have the 3 first figures of the Retrofest toy line, and I love it. I love the look of them, and it's retro. It feels new, and they have awesome articulation because they're elites. I really love it. They're great.
You WWF figure so close to the real thing? It's like being in the ring.
And number 1 on my toys that I bought this year of awesome figures is this Michael Myers, the 112 Mezco toy line. I saw this guy reviewed in the video, and I was like, holy smokes, that's so cool. And the thing that sold me to get this figure is, I don't know if you can't see it because the lighting here is terrible, but down here on his pant legs, it's sort of brown, like he's been walking in mud. And when I saw that, I was like, oh, I have to get this figure. So not only is he to scale with other figures, he is fully clothed. This is like hand stitched and stuff like that. This is an actual like overall suit he has. He comes with 2 knives, 1 bloody, 1 clean. He comes with a little pumpkin. He comes with the bed sheet with the glasses on there. It's so cool. He comes with like 6 different hands. Fantastic. I was won over by this toy line, and I want to get more of the horror characters that they make. I definitely want their Friday the 13th toy they're making. They're making a part 3 Jason where he has like the hump on his back and he has like the green shirt and everything. I definitely want to get that to go with this because it's so cool. Just the amount of detail in this figure. Like the head sculpt is great. The shoes are great. And he comes with a little stand that you can put the figure on and you can display him. That's so cool. So you can put him on there. And I've been looking at the other Mezcos that they made of that toy line. So cool. They got like a Frankenstein, they got a Freddy Krueger, all the X-Men characters. But yeah, I really love that toy line. I'm definitely gonna get more of those.
What's going on out here?
Call the police. Tell the sheriff I shot him.
Who?
Tell him he's still on the loose.
Is this some kind of joke? I've been trick or treated to death tonight.
You don't know what death is.
So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit like, hit subscribe, and tell me what figures you bought this year that you really liked. I think it's been a good year for figures, and I had a lot more than I wanted to pick. Couldn't do it. I also had some customs I made. Didn't include them. But yeah, that's been today's video. Hopefully you liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year, depending what time you're watching this.